Hey everybody, and welcome to a new video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Adrian Field and I'm an expat entrepreneur that typically calls Bali home, but has been here in Madrid, Spain for the last week. And in this video today, I want to tell you why I am absolutely falling in love with Madrid, why I want to live here, and why I think it is such a fabulous city. Well, I am officially in Spain. I passed the border control, and unlike the previous country that I'm coming from, I was greeted with a very friendly bienvenidos, and there was a little health check, but I came very prepared. I already had my form printed out with the QR code, so you just stop by, they scan that. So far, again, this is my very first time in Spain, even though yo puedo hablar español porque yo viví en México un ratito, como un año y medio, y ahí aprendí español. I can speak Spanish because I lived in Mexico, but I'm really excited to get to practice my Spanish here for the next 2 weeks in Madrid. And wow, qué emocionante, as they say in Spanish. How exciting to be here. The reason specifically that I chose to come to Madrid versus, let's say, Barcelona, which is a very popular tourist destination, is because I thought that Madrid would be more cultural, more interesting, more rich and dynamic, and I was really right about that. I haven't even entered the exposition yet, but I'm already so excited by the gift shop. There's all of these fashion books. You have no idea, for a fashion file, a cinephile, and a bibliophile. For me, this place is like heaven to be here in Spain, with just so much stuff and so much cultural stimulation. After being basically brain dead for 2.5 years, I'm just overwhelmed with emotion to be amongst this right now. So this is not necessarily as popular for tourists because there's not the coastline, but I live in Bali and hadn't left that island in 2.5 years, so I didn't need any more beach. I really wanted a walkable, cultural, architecturally interesting city. And I'm sure there are people who love Barcelona who will say, well, Barcelona has all of that too, but Madrid, I just think, is the place to come if you really are wanting and looking for specifically culture. There's so many museums, so many exhibitions and things that are going on all the time. In the week or so that I've been here, I've already been to 2 very interesting exhibitions. The first one that I went to was a fashion and film exhibition curated by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and the second one was a Stanley Kubrick exhibition, and just being able to go into a museum after 2.5 years of living in Bali, where, I mean, there is nothing like that. I want to go to some museums. I found this great book in the house. It's kind of, I guess, like a monthly magazine that has all of the things that are going on in Madrid, the museums, the art exhibitions and stuff like that. And I highlighted a bunch of things that I had no idea about and that I want to go visit. So now I feel like I actually kind of have some itinerary and some interesting things that I want to do rather than just sit around. It just feeds my soul. It feels so good to be in a place that has this intellectualism. I feel like, you know, my brain is being fed in addition to my soul. And I don't want this video to be, you know, comparing Europe to Bali, because obviously they are extremely different. You can't make a comparison, but I am realizing that I cannot live in Bali all year round. I need European culture. I need to be able to go to a museum and to have an intellectual conversation with people. One of the things I really like about Spanish culture that actually reminds me a lot of France is that the people are very literary. There's tons of bookshops, and you actually see people in cafes reading, which is such a rare thing. In Bali, there are no bookstores really, and nobody ever reads. So here, like on almost every corner, you can find a little bookshop, and I just think it's so charming that that still exists. It really reminds me that I'm in Europe. And one of the things that I love about Madrid is just, I feel like the level of intelligence amongst all people is quite high, you know, that you can have a conversation with anybody here, whether it's a taxi driver, a shopkeeper, or, you know, somebody just sitting next to you in a restaurant. People are so open and warm here, and I think that that's a big part of Latin and Spanish culture. So I really enjoy that fact, whereas I live like in a teeny little bubble kind of life in Bali. So this has been really good for me to be here. Madrid, some of the other things that I love about it is that it's so walkable. If you're staying in the center of the city, you can walk everywhere, especially when the weather is good. And even when the weather is not so good, it's not that bad. Like, rain has been forecast the entire time that I've been here, but the rain is, it's like misting, you know? You don't even need an umbrella. And even when it's overcast, it's not that cold. So, I mean, I'm here in kind of late March, but, you know, I'm not freezing like I was, for example, in Istanbul. So it's great. I'm staying in a neighborhood called Lavapiés, and it sort of is similar to what I would imagine Brooklyn might have been like 15 or 20 years ago as it was undergoing gentrification. So this particular neighborhood has many immigrants, specifically from Africa. And people have told me, like, you've got to be a little bit careful at nighttime, you know? But from here, within 25-30 minutes walking, I can be in the heart of the most chic neighborhood in Madrid. So, you know, being that it is so walkable is a great thing. And apparently I've heard there's good public transportation as well, the metro and the buses. I don't take public transport kind of as a rule, so I don't know about it firsthand, but other people have told me that it's good. But I think that the biggest thing that I love so much about Madrid is just how open it is here, especially as someone who is gay. Like, first of all, there are the most attractive men in the world here in Madrid. I feel like this is like Mount Olympus. Like, this is the summit for the most beautiful men in the world. They're all here in Madrid. So first, I mean, just like my mind is constantly blown, and I am so, I don't like, stimulated by the beauty that I'm seeing around me. But beyond that, you know, it's such an accepting place. I'm not someone who is like very like rah-rah, you know, gay pride. I've never been to a pride parade or things like that, but it is sort of heartwarming to see all of these gay flags all over the place, and the fact that people really don't have any second thoughts about, you know, showing affection in public, that they're a gay couple. I was on a date last night, and the guy had really no qualms at all. I mean, being in public in a restaurant, showing affection. And for me, that's almost a culture shock, spending the last 3 years in Bali, where my ex, for example, would not even hold my hand if there were other people that could see. So it just felt like I was always hiding. And in Madrid, I don't feel like I need to hide. I feel like I can really be myself. And there's also kind of like an eccentricity here, and it just feels so interesting because it's so dynamic and there's so many college students. So it feels very, very alive here, and it's made me feel alive in a way that honestly I have not felt for a long time. So that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video, because I have not been in the mood to vlog specific days, just because I'm kind of really into just living and being in the moment right now. I mean, every day is kind of a new mini adventure, whether that's just going to the gym or going to the supermarket. Or you guys, if it wasn't already weird enough vlogging by yourself in a supermarket, doing it while wearing a mask just brings it to a new level of insanity. I'm glad that there aren't that many people here to see me talking to myself, but maybe they think that I'm talking to someone, which would certainly be preferable. I'm getting a little bit of a sticker shock, having lived in Bali for so long, about like random things and how much they cost. But of course I'm in Europe, so it's not Bali. My last thing I'm looking for is just some orange juice, but I actually love wandering around well-organized supermarkets. It was one of my favorite activities when I lived in the United States. This is literally the coolest thing I've ever seen, that you can get fresh orange juice actually from the oranges here. You take a bottle, let me see if I can do this correctly, and you put it in and then you just squeeze it, and it's actually giving you fresh orange juice. I'm really afraid this bottle is gonna fall. I better hold it with my leg, but amazing. Why don't we have something like this in America? Taking a walk somewhere to see an exhibition in a museum, I'm just living it, and it feels so good. I really am not actually looking forward to going back to Bali, to be completely honest, even though, you know, I'm staying in comparatively a small apartment. I've just arrived in my second Airbnb stay in Madrid, and this place I'm actually staying, I think, for almost 9 or 10 nights. So I'm staying for twice the amount that I was in the other place. This per night was, I think, a bit cheaper than the other one. I think maybe around $115 a night, and it's just a few blocks from where I was staying before, still in the area called Lavapiés. So I'm going to give you a tour. I literally just arrived, so you can see my suitcases are still straight in front of me. But it's really cute. I chose this place because I also like the design. It's really unique. I'm gonna give you a tour. So after entering in, what's really interesting is they created this, like, I guess because everything is open, so it's like a big open studio, but then they created these sliding doors for the bedroom area, so you can have your private space closed off. And the closet space is also right here next to the bed. I really just love, for example, the design touches that they've done here. Like, they've painted the floors this deep blue, which viewers of my channel of various videos will know that's actually my very favorite color. So here's a small workspace. But before we go further, here's also the bathroom, which is completely painted in blue. And unlike in the other place, they were intelligent enough to put in a bath mat, which was definitely missing in the other spot. So the bathroom itself is really nice and modern. Lots of counter space for products, which for me is so important. I always travel with a million beauty products. Shower, so it looks like a rain shower and also an Italian style shower. And let's continue further into the tour, shall we? It's a bit dark in here. We need some lights. Oh, check out these lights. Old-fashioned, very cool. So here we are inside the living room, kitchen, and dining room area. We've got this great, cute seating area, table, beautiful windows, same like the other apartment. These European style, big, beautiful windows. The TV is here. And then over here we have the table. And here we have kind of like the kitchenette, which has an espresso machine. And this apartment, unlike the other one, has somewhere in here, I don't know where yet, okay, but somewhere it has, okay, dishwasher, and it also has a washing machine that works as a dryer too. How amazing. That's very rare in Europe, apparently. So that's a nice touch. And anyway, everybody knows I don't cook by this point, so that's basically useless, but I do have a refrigerator just where I'm going to store some fresh orange juice. And then in the rest of this space, I don't know, there's just kind of random storage. So this is my home for the next 9 nights. You know, versus a huge villa in Bali where I have staff and everything taken care of. I'm really enjoying kind of the independence that I feel that, you know, I used to have when I lived in New York or in Los Angeles. It really doesn't bother me because if I have a washing machine, if I have a dishwasher, I don't need to have someone in my house. And so it's kind of nice to just live like a normal person in a sense again. So these are all of the things that I think I've really been missing by living in Bali, and just the realization that I need to spend more time in Europe. I can't spend the whole year in Bali, but anyway, regardless, this video is really just about how fabulous Madrid is. I love the architecture here. I like the people. I like the food, except for breakfast, because the breakfast is really lacking. Like, I think Spanish people, like, breakfast is just not that big of a thing for them, and they don't really eat eggs for breakfast, which to me is very strange. So I ended up having to go grocery shopping, and I now make my own breakfasts, which is crazy because I haven't cooked in probably 6 years. But I'm doing that here. Everything else though, the food is amazing. You know, if you go out for lunch, if you go out for dinner, there's so many fabulous restaurants here. So again, while I think that Barcelona and Ibiza and all of these places are usually on people's lists for places to go on vacation, if you love culture, if you love art, if you love history and all of these things, Madrid is, oh, such an amazing place. And even, again, if you're staying here not as a tourist, but as someone who just wants to experience Spanish life, I think that Madrid offers so much. So that's really it in this video. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. Until the next time, take care and I'll see you later.